Anime watchers have gravitated to both lewd and non-lewd comedies, but there's just something that strikes you when there's a bit of ecchi mixed in with all the laughs. These anime tickle you and get you to either groan or chuckle at the misfortune or luck of the protagonist involved. Tsunderes are usually a staple of this genre, and open-handed slaps aren't far behind an unlucky male MC. Since you're here, you're obviously interested in knowing what we feel are the top 10 anime in the genre. But before we start, be sure to hit the subscribe button and click on the bell icon, as that is all to be notified about all our latest new videos. Coming in at number 10 is Immoral Guild. Monsters in this fantasy world seemingly exist primarily to restrain and do lewd things to women, and they will do so many times. If you're into that sort of thing, then you will undoubtedly like this show. In fact, I'd say it delivers on this premise in greater quantity and quality than any anime that I've ever seen before. There is not really a story to talk about, by the way. It's just a guy that trains younger adventurers that join the guild. All of the newcomers happen to be cute girls, all of them happen to be useless, and all of them happen to end up being caressed by monsters one way or another. It is silly, it is perverted, and it doesn't try to be much more. It doesn't take itself seriously, it is not pretentious. It is trash made to be enjoyed as trash. That being said, it could be way better. It could have better pacing. The girls were all introduced in a hurry. The ratio of action to chill to lewd is really all over the place. It could have been funnier, but that's okay. It is mildly funny. It could have been more lewd, but it's okay. After all, this is trash. And it certainly could have been more action-y, but it's not even mildly exciting. Still, as a whole, it is mildly entertaining. But make sure you are alone when you are watching this one. For the love of God, please be alone. Coming in at number 9 is Girls Bravo. The story revolves around a young, short, unfortunate boy named Yukinari, whom has been unpopular with girls ever since the beginning of his high school career. He was bullied not by guys though, but rather women. Now even when he gets close to a girl, he breaks out into a horrible rash, which is, it's pretty funny. As Yukinari went on his daily life of being tormented by women, he finally gets home to realize that a childhood friend, Kiri, was in his bathtub. She punches the hell out of him and he falls into the bathtub, where he is then magically transported to another world called Seiren. Yep, this is how isekai anime worked out before. Nowadays, it's all about Truck-kun and the good work he does. Anyway, on the isekai world, less than 10% of the population is male, and he meets a girl named Miharu. What's strange about her is that when she gets close to him, he doesn't break out into a rash. He quickly becomes friends with her and learns that Seiren is a world that is populated by women. Yukinari then tries to escape the thousands of women that are trying to steal him from Miharu, and after a phenomenal chase scene, Yukinari winds up in a bathroom with Miharu, only to transport with her back into his own bathtub. You know, I don't know how this happens, but don't ask me. Girls, oppai, panty shots, you'll find everything in hair. Well, it's not as bad as Aiken. At least the girls don't have breasts the size of body pillows on their chests, and the storyline is actually rather well done. It's almost like a Romeo and Juliet storyline in parts, because the two always seem to be ripped apart by something. Coming in at number 8 is Bastard, heavy metal dark fantasy. It is definitely my cup of tea and a breath of fresh air when it comes to adapting a manga into an anime. The title says it all, heavy metal dark fantasy. It's a sign that it's either gonna be something that won't be for everyone's taste, or it will be something that some people will more than likely enjoy. In my opinion, this anime definitely lives up to the title, and I enjoyed every single episode from beginning to end. The story follows the womanizing, vulgar anti-hero Dark Schneider and his quest to save... that's still really unclear. The Kingdom of Metallicana from a series of invaders, a team of which he was once a part of. The story is really simple and mostly follows a villain of the weak plot structure. It isn't complex or deep, but it isn't meant to be. It is supposed to be fun. For what it is definitely that. The action is high intensity and the battles are a spectacle. Though you won't find yourself reflecting on some profound messages, the series is competent in what it sets out to do. And honestly, that's all anyone could ask for. For me personally, the series is about showcasing an arrogant badass, cool characters, and designs, as well as a totally awesome setting. Essentially, it is popcorn entertainment and never portrays itself to be more than that. And when it comes to being that, its job is done excellently. And time to be brutally honest for a moment, While Bastard can be extremely graphic and filled with oppai greatness, it borders between absolutely ridiculous, in a goofy way, and extremely mature. Before watching Bastard, you should probably understand what it is. It's not Berserk, it's not Goblin Slayer, and it's not some deep, dramatic, dark fantasy. It's a dark fantasy that doesn't take itself too seriously and is self-aware. Its main character is a bit of an ass. Yet still, if you can accept that, you may find it as enjoyable as I did. You don't watch this anime for the story, you watch it for the fan service. Whether you like men or women, you'll be served. Mwah. Coming in number 7 is Vermeil in Gold. Fuck, I hate this anime. Okay, so the story is about a boy who is smart but bad at one thing. In this case, summoning a familiar. Long story short, he got himself a familiar who's a powerful, sexy, voluptuous Onesan demon. Being a demon, she's very powerful. Unbeknownst to himself, the boy possesses a very strong magic, hence why no familiars heed his call. How original. The characters are shallow. This is an ecchi anime. We don't need deep, rich, thought-provoking characters with mind-boggling motives and goals. And besides that, there is also the childhood friend who also happens to like him, and not to mention the cliché scenes. Like battling a bully who thinks the main character is weak but turns out to be strong. All very overused tropes and scenes. Like many of the degenerates watching this video, I saw an ecchi tag slapped onto the poster of a demon succubus lady and went straight in for the cheese. And while I won't lie to you and pretend this show is not filled with pointless fan service, let's be real with ourselves. They trapped us with the fan service. And the fan service is the only thing stopping this show from getting dropped by every anime enjoyer. Coming in number 6 is Inukami. Inukami are dog spirits, and Keita comes from a family that uses these spirits along with their own spiritual powers to rid the world of evil. Yoko is Keita's Inukami, but she's not like the others. Not obedient nor respectful. She is a big burden on Keita financially. Yoko does at the very least love him. She is prone to jealousy though and extremely possessive. Not to mention starved for attention, but Keita is a free, perverted soul who does his best to escape her grasp and hit on all the women he comes across. It's too bad for him that Yoko can teleport and control fire. If you don't laugh at the show, then you've probably missed the point or you're not human. No other show will drop the lead character naked in the town square just for looking at women, or let him spend a night in a police cell surrounded by perverts. If you're expecting a lot of fan service, then you're watching the wrong show. Because in this show, you get man service. This show is all around pretty good. It's funny, but it can be very serious. It has romance but also some ecchi. The fighting is done well, the characters are very realistic and likable, and the only bad thing I have to say about this show is the amount of male nudity, which really kinda disturbed me. You will see 10 times more naked men in this show than any other show. Yeah, that's the one part that sucks. Coming in at number 5, A Sister's All You Need. The award for the most misleading title goes to... probably not A Sister's All You Need, but it's a pretty damn misleading name. It's definitely caused a bit of confusion for people deciding whether to watch it or avoid it like the plague, because this show isn't a little sister romance anime. The anime follows a novelist, Itsuki, who is quite obsessed with little sisters and tries to revolve his work around that. His goal is to one day create the ultimate younger sister novel. Despite its weird background for the plot, the anime delves into some realistic themes, both in his work and outside of his life. Compared to the others, one may think that the story is lacking in depth and in plot, having some weird characters and a plain main character. Nevertheless, there are some heartwarming moments inside each episode that kept me on my toes. While the story itself is very relatable, describing the daily life of a novelist and his struggles while depicting his social circle, and use headphones while watching this anime. This anime has some wild moments and dirty talks. The anime is simple and straightforward, but it was a very entertaining watch for me. More than I am willing to admit. I will not mind a sequel because of that. Coming in at number 4 is Mushibugio. So what do you do when insects come knocking at your door? Well, normally you'd call the pest control, but here's the problem. These are not your ordinary insects. In fact, these are the type that will tear you apart and eat you alive. It takes a little bit more than pest control. Luckily, you can call upon a more reliant force known as the City Patrol, an elite unit of insect exterminators who are specialists in dealing with these pesky creatures, and our main character is wanting to be a part of that group. This is one of the rare action animes that the main character was not that powerful and not too weak either. The anime story lets the main character grow more powerful and wiser as the series progresses. The comedy and the fan service, the plots, are not too excessive that may cause a downhill and some sort of bland taste that leaves in the audience's eyes. It also shows how beautiful human relationships are. And also, there's a big booby baka in the anime, whose only role is to get in danger so that the cast can save her. And guess what? She's the main heroine in this anime as well. All in all, Mushibugio is a show that is underrated but can be worth a watch if you have some patience. Coming in at number 3 is Desert Punk. First, let me point out the fact that if you don't like crude humor, don't bother watching Desert Punk. This anime is filled with perverted, ecchi, and all-around hilariously funny jokes. Don't let the comedy be the deciding factor though, as this show has some great action scenes. The story setting is a post-apocalyptic desert where people must use whatever they can to survive the harsh conditions. And our main character is a mercenary called the Desert Punk, who is a legend in the post-apocalyptic wasteland of the future. The punk goes on many random adventures and adopts an obnoxious little brat because he hopes that one day she will become a hot chick that he can bang. Yeah, you heard that right. It is essentially a brainless screwball comedy meets an ecchi arrow series. The show is packed with ecchi. The title of the first episode is The Demon and the Double D's. Yeah, pretty much says it all. If you think you'll be offended by it or the huge amount of pervertedness that accompanies it, then please do not watch this. I would recommend watching this only if you like mindless humor or pantsu. Or if you really need a break from a string of dark psychological shows, as I did, to sum up occasionally very funny, highly offensive, and very, very inconsistent. Coming in number 2 is Vandred, the Second Stage. It is impossible to enjoy the Vandred series without watching Vandred, the Second Stage. I believe that between the two series, the second one is superior. Obviously, the second season is a continuation of the story that began in the first season, but unlike other sequels, the second stage doesn't try too hard to introduce anything new. Rather, it builds on what was already established and laid out in the prequel and jumps right into the action. Slowly but surely, more pieces of the plot are revealed and in the process does a splendid job of fleshing out and developing character personalities. The storyline is not too complicated but perfectly answers all the questions it has risen by the end of the second stage. I really like the core idea too. Far in the future, men and women live on different planets, having developed methods of living separately, considering each other enemies, and not even remembering that they can have relationships such as friendship, love, and making children. Then when a few guys happen to get on a women's pirate ship in space, they have to find their way of changing the ideals they have been risen with to learn to cooperate with women. Watch it if you search for a light anime to inspire your peer feelings, and do not watch it if you search for deep science fiction. Also, ecchi fans, some of your dreams will be answered in a charming way. However, this is not the anime for the most perverted ones. They will not be satisfied.
We interrupt this program for...
Oh, hey there. I know you. You're that one person that hasn't subscribed yet to the channel. So my question is, what are you waiting for? Subscribe. I'd be sad if you didn't. And also, if you'd love to be an exclusive member for yours truly, and see exclusive content for your eyes only, then, well, join my membership to enjoy the special videos I prepared. If the membership button isn't showing up for any reasons like country restrictions, you can always head over to my Patreon and become members there, as you will see the same exclusive content. And this will also help me to create more luxurious content just for you. So thank you. And back to your regularly scheduled program. And number 1 goes to the Ping Pong Club. The Ping Pong Club is the most twisted, perverted comedy ever, with the funniest characters and situations ever. And I'm not kidding. It can also be considered as a cornerstone of exaggerated, ecchi comedy school kids animes that would follow, like The Green, Mean, and Even Great Teacher Onizuka. Well, the bulk of the anime lies in the story and the characters. While it's not a plot-driven anime, not the kind that focuses all its powers on a goal reached at the end, nope, it's the kind of story that I like to call lifestyle story, cause it shows the day-to-day routine and the problems the characters get into. This is an anime where most of the characters are total bastards. It's not a hentai though, it's more about toilet humor, psychedelic cross-dressing, small penises, and a fair amount of boobs. This anime had me laughing out loud several times per episode, really, which is quite rare for me, so make sure to give it a try. Boy, was it me or did this list just get a little steamy? If you watch all the anime on this list, then you are a legend. Did you check out any of the shows on this list? Got any more that you think we missed? Let us know in the comments down below. Time to let your voices be heard. Also, don't forget to like, share, and definitely don't forget to subscribe. And as for now, I'll catch you later.